I was taking a walk the other day, and it was quiet. It was like an hour or two after the school day had ended, and I was just heading over to my boarding house. And it was just silent. Okay, well, I heard people playing basketball by the courts, but besides that, it was quiet, okay? Just have that image in your mind. And all I saw, besides the cars that were just passing by, were trees. Nice, green, natural trees. And I was just looking at them as I walked, and it was calming. And once I had realized that I was nearing close to the boarding house, I just decided to stop. Just stood there for a moment, admiring the greenery that was around me. And it was just calming. And then I just thought to myself, like, whoa, this is nice. This is peaceful. I need more of this. And then the thought just hit me. I need to go outside more, bro. And you probably should too. And when I say going outside, I'm not talking about going to the malls or the movies like most of us do, or going to the clubs like some of us do illegally. When I say going outside, I mean going out of your house and going on a hike. I'm talking about the outside where you just taking a nap on the grass, hands behind your head. I'm talking about the outside where you just sitting on a bench looking at trees. Because that moment when I was just looking at the trees, I realized this is the type of outside that we need. I'm sure we're all aware of the pandemic, if that's the word to use, of people just being sad and depressed, things of that nature. And I'm sure we've all seen the countless research that's saying the same thing, all pointing the fingers at our devices saying, it's that damn phone of yours. That was awkward, but people saying that we're spending too much time on our devices, and to a certain extent they low-key right, but we all have the same reaction to it. It's not that deep, and it really isn't that deep. I mean, going on your phone, watching YouTube, hopefully my videos, isn't even that bad. But that's what makes it low-key dangerous. Because as soon as we start thinking that, it's not that bad, that's when we start to underestimate it. Then we underestimate the effects that the thing's effects can... What? Then we start to underestimate the effects that this thing can have on us. The effects it can have on you. And I'm speaking from experience here. I used to have a heavy phone addiction, or device addiction rather, and my eyes would always be glued to my screen, either playing video games, watching movies, or even watching YouTube videos. And unfortunately not my videos. Subscribe. And in the moment I was calm with it, I had no issues. But as I grew up, matured, and developed mentally, I realized the effects that obsessive screen usage can have on you and me. Well, actually, I realized the effects it can have on me, but if it affects me, it also affects you, so, Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the concept of meditation, or if you have meditated before, but for me, I somewhat dabble in the arts of meditation. I started doing it a while ago, and I've been pretty inconsistent with it, but I get the premise behind it, and I've experienced the effects that it can have to an extent. And I can tell you right here that meditation does indeed have its effects. Although not instant, they are very much there, especially when it comes to clearing your mind. When I used to be addicted and looking at my screen all day long, I used to feel as if my mind was always fuzzy and buzzy, and I don't really know how to describe the feeling properly, but you get where I'm going with this. And I used to be okay with this feeling because, well, I wasn't really used to feeling any different. So until I started meditating, I went on a 20-day meditation streak after watching a YouTube video, and the effects were there. Although not instant, they were there. After a while, I began to notice a few differences. I could think faster, I could think clearer, and honestly just felt more at peace. But it also made me feel more aware of how I was feeling. And during this meditation saga, I would catch myself being gripped by my screen, and I'd be conscious whenever I was being pulled into that, that doom scroll rabbit hole thingy-majiggy. And I could feel that buzzy feeling, but 10 times worse. Because my mind had been exposed to feeling such clarity, it was a lot more noticeable whenever it was being stained by things like doom scrolling or being on your phone for too long and playing video games for like 3 hours, I could really feel the effects on my brain, because my brain was used to being clear, or was exposed to that feeling of having a clear, calm mind. But then as soon as I got roped back into these bad things, they're not that bad, but these bad things, I could feel the effects and the static that it caused in my mind. That is probably the best way to describe that feeling that I tried to describe earlier. That buzzy feeling, yeah, static. And I hated that feeling, that brain numbing feeling from watching oversaturated content for too long. Like, it just didn't feel good, man. I just liked it better when my mind was just silent. And I liked this clarity feeling, and I just stopped meditating because well, actually, I don't know why I stopped meditating. Kind of just did. I guess I forgot. But I liked this feeling. And it's not like I necessarily chase it. It's just that day when I was walking to the house and I saw those trees, it just came back to me in a surge. Now, I go hiking with my mom quite often, and even then, the feeling is still somewhat there, and I enjoy it, and I need more of it. Ever since I had been going outside more, I've been feeling more peaceful. And I just think life is better when you have this internal peace within. And that walk to the boarding house just invoked a surge of that feeling. And it was after a long day of school, so it was much appreciated. I don't know if you guys have seen that meme where it's like, when life gets so cooked, you start appreciating nature. It doesn't sound that funny now, but it was funny when I saw it. But there's a truth to that, and a reason. Because nature just brings you down to earth. It clears that brain fog, and life is just better when you have that internal peace once again. So if you're like me back then, you know, just eyes glued to a screen 24/7, I recommend you put the screen down. Or just turn off the monitor. You can't put your monitor down. And then just go outside. Because I promise you, you won't feel worse from doing that. Unless you like get struck by lightning. But the odds of that happening are very slim. I think I'm ended here. I don't have much to say. Thank you for watching. Bye.